Matters is brought to you live by Bahamas Maritime Connection.
What is maritime?
Maritime, simply put, relates to navigation or commerce on the high seas.
Some say money makes the world go round. I say ships move the money that make the world move.
Who navigates those large international ships?
How often are international ships required to be surveyed and inspected?
Maritime also protects our seas and borders by way of our local Bahamas Defense Force.
It is very sad to say that out of 1,500 plus ships that are registered under the Bahamian flag, only a very small amount of Bahamians are employed.
Maritime Matters.
And pleasant good evening to you, our valued listening audience. Welcome one, welcome all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Maritime Matters. I am your host, Captain Glenn Bain. Our sponsors for tonight's show are 101 Pharmacy and also Island Care Pharmacy. For all your medication needs, check out my little cousin Shanty McBride and her lovely team at 101 Pharmacy. In Nassau, you will find them on East Street South, Charles Sanders Highway, and in Freeport, of course, they are on Explorers Bay, just opposite Regent Center in downtown Freeport. We are secondly sponsored by Bahamas Maritime Connection. Hey, that's us, BMC. We shine it tonight again. And of course, we take care of all of your, a full slate of your ISPS Maritime Security Service needs. Thirdly, we have a joint sponsorship of GBI pilots and Bimini pilots. These are a contingent of independent marine pilots that are making themselves available to provide marine pilotage to any and all ships outside of New Providence or Freeport Port area. That's all the family islands, all the cruise ship private islands, and all the rest of that good stuff. So when you need some assistance with big ships coming in anywhere in the Bahamas, just give GBI pilots or Bimini pilots a contact and they will be there for you. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to bring to you one of our very few Bahamian chief engineers that served on board numerous cargo vessels operating locally in our Bahama land. A young man that has truly been through the trenches in serving in the engine room of vessels engaging the Bahamian waters. The many obstacles that he had to surmount just to land a job as chief engineer on board a number of ships that had foreigners holding the road. Tonight's discussion will include, will you know, the big one, Shanty Town update, Minister Clay Sweeting, Superman. Boy, look here, when you talk about Superman, you're talking about a Minister Clay Sweeting, eh? Today, two small shanty towns in Abaco are coming tumbling down as we speak. Well, maybe not as we speak, but certainly they started to come tumbling down. And this is why we got our dear Minister Clay Sweeting, a Superman. Never before has a government minister been so pragmatic in dealing with our immigration issues. Notice was given, and now the buildings are coming down. This is just the precursor to what's installed for the big one that my brother Kai Mills brought to our attention a few months ago. Kai care videos. Say, boy, look at it. They build them. How Kai to say, look. That's my boy. He said they build them, and now Minister Clay Sweeting is got them come tumbling down. And this is only the beginning. We're going to see it happen. Let's keep it rolling. Superman Sweeting. Gunmen in green on the streets at 0600. That's right, 6 a.m. in the morning. Numerous times at the junction of Cowpen Road and Faith Avenue. Excuse me, I need some water. Numerous mornings were immigration officers on the move. Kudos to Minister Alfred Sayers for getting this going. And I say kudos to the entire PLP cabinet for these stellar immigration actions that this country had lacked for so many decades. And I know PLP people, and I know FNM. I swing voter, so don't call me talking foolishness about, oh, you bigging up. I ain't bigging up nobody, bigging up with going down. I see things happening, and I call it out. When I don't see things happening, I call it out. I ain't a politician, I tell you, Look here, I still even know what I get until I get in the booth. So don't come with me, no politics. I don't play that. Now, how does one qualify to become an international marine engineer to work on board ships operating domestically within the Bahamas? You know, a few short years ago, one would have to engage the necessary trainings outside of the Bahamas. Presently, we got an institution called LJM Maritime Academy, where one can enroll and become a certified engineer based on the STCW code requirements. And we ain't need to get into what STCW. This is a maritime show, and I keep it clean. This entails a combination of classroom and engineering workshop studies, and that in tandem with minimum amounts of sea time with ships sailing before you could get a certification as an engineer to work on board a vessel. And you could get, it's various. You start from oiler and what's before oiler, wiper, all them things. You could be in the engine room. Then you become a second engineer. They call it third engineer. I think you drop. You could be a second engineer, and then of course after that you could become a chief engineer. And then all of this is stipulated in the SCCW code. All the lessons, all the courses you got to do, and all. And I got a man sitting in front of me tonight who have been down that road, been there, done that, finished with that, and he's a qualified man. Another thing we want to look at, what are the areas of opportunity available for marine engineering jobs domestically? The largest domestic fleet of vessels in the Bahamas belongs to which entity? The Royal Bahamas Defense Force. But, you know, this organization can get away with not having STCW certified engineers or even deck officers, because the SCCW convention, like all other conventions that fall under the International Maritime Organization, like all of the conventions that fall under the United Nations, they don't apply to military, eh? Military get a blind. So for that reason, the Defense Force do not have to have certified people. But this is no reason, in my opinion, that is, why we should not ensure that our BDF personnel are just as qualified as those in the merchant maritime industry. There's no reason why we got ships just like them. We got to maintain them just like them. And a lot of times, and I said on many shows before, sometimes Defense Force buy brand new ships, and within the first 6 years, they lay up. And all of them don't get run aground. Well, these days ain't not getting run aground. They lay up because they have good deck officers, but they don't have certified engineering officers. And there's no reason for that in this day and time. Even in days when I was there was no reason for that. It's just that the force did not take time out to realize why we send these officers to Dartmouth. We need to send some officers to Dartmouth and then Manhattan to become engineers. Because on any ship in the real world, who's next to the captain? Some people say the mate. I say no, it's the chief engineer. Because without the chief engineer, that ship ain't gonna move. The captain can't navigate the ship to move. Not only the ship moving, the ship needs power. So the engineer also take care of all the, that's the BC on board the ship, eh? The ship also have electronic, electrical, all this come under the chief engineer, you know. But in our Royal Bahamas Defense Force, we cannot say that we have certified people to do that job. That's why all the boats lay up and all. And I've been in the Defense Force for many years. I've been out of the Defense Force for many years. I've been managing ships for a couple of years. I've been sailing on commercial ships. I've been inspecting and surveying ships. Ain't nobody can tell me what the deal is. I know. And I dare anybody to call in and tell me that ain't the case. So we got the second largest group, Mr. Producers, that I see that line was blinking a long time. That ain't really. Okay, that one ain't real. Let me make sure. Maritime Matters, hello. No, that ain't real. But we ain't why y'all calling yet, no how, right? Because I ain't even bringing my guest yet. You know, he got plenty to say. I can tell you now. He ain't no little small operation up in here. We gonna get on this situation and let the whole Bahamas know the foolishness they put him through, right? So the second largest grouping that requires certified engineers would be the tanker service that distributes the fuel from Clifton Pier Hub to the Family Islands, another regional port. They used to name marine tankers back in the day. I don't even know what the name is now. They got a nice fancy name. But that would be the second largest grouping of ships that I know operating in this country. When you talk about going, now you got tugboat services and Freeport Harbor and that type of thing. But they don't really go nowhere, right? They service Freeport Harbor area, Freeport area. We talk about ships that sail for real, ships that need real engineers and real captains and real officers and ratings on board. So marine tankers would be the second largest. And guess what? We can talk about this some more. You think they get Bahamian engineers on board those vessels? Anyway, that's what we got to talk about. Thirdly, we would have the freight boats operating between the Bahamas and Florida. And the only reason why they have to have certified engineer is because they have to be Caribbean coded in order to go to Florida. And so they want to meet that requirement, so they have to find, and guess what? You think the local engineers, the engineers they have doing that voyage that have to be Caribbean coded, you think they certified Bahamians? You think they're Bahamians? Well, let me tell you something. More than 90% of them are not Bahamians. We can talk about that today too. Excuse me again. So what's the current salary for marine engineer job? They could make anything from $30,000 to probably $60,000, $70,000, depending on where they work in, what their certification is, what position they hold in on the ship. And then these are real money-making jobs. This ain't no little jokey operation. Say, oh, Bahamians don't like to go see. Oh, we can't find no qualified Bahamians. And this is true. There are not many qualified Bahamians. You know why? Because the entity responsible for ensuring, create and expand for opportunities for Bahamians, the Bahamas Maritime Authority, by way of the Bahamas Maritime Authority Act, is not lifting a finger to make sure it happen. And they're the ones mandated by our country to do it. And we got to keep calling them out and calling them out. And Dwayne Hutchison is my boy and all the rest of that. But, you know, we got to get this thing going. And he knows, made him talk about it a couple of times. So the BMA also, via the required local safety certificate, they're supposed to be issuing local safety certificates to every vessel that is not Solar's vessel that operating in the Bahamas. And that local safety certificate is going to require that you have certified engineers and certified deck officers and even certified ratings on them vessels. But the BMA wouldn't make sure this is put in place. So again, everything falls on the head of the BMA. I ain't kidding no port department. The port department have no obligation under none of their regulations to create and expand for opportunities for Bahamians in the to get jobs in the maritime industry. So don't bring that one to me. I ain't playing that. I ain't hearing it. And you think you know more than me? Give me a call. Now, these are the basic topics that we seek to engage tonight. Be advised that we are again lock and loaded people with information piled up like dirt. These are the topics we got information on and more. I take this opportunity to give a shout out to my number one fan, Annie Mae up there in Freeport. Annie Mae, what you saying, girl? Boy, look at me and Annie Mae talking every day. Annie Mae, you just keep it going. 90 years old and going strong. Annie Mae, I still you know which month you could be 91. Anyway, we have to let people know. So you know you're not out there. You're not a celebrity on the show, so we got to keep that going. Say hello to your 4 lovely daughters. You know, let them know I love them still and I know they love me, and let them know they can keep taking care of you good like they do it. You know, on a more sad note, Annie Mae, Prime Minister Davis, and myself all hail out of Rural Avenue. That's just off Wolford by where McKinney Bar was, eh? On the opposite side of FYP as it is today. We all hail out that area. My best friend who I grew up with was Hallie. We roamed the streets shooting marbles, spinning top, playing basketball with a bicycle rim nailed up against the lamppost. Hallie passed away last week, leaving a deep laceration into the hearts of many of us who would have walked the path of Rural Avenue. Because Hallie was a staple there. You know, him and Butter, they owned the club eventually, and everybody been to Rural Avenue would know Hallie. So I send condolences on behalf of the Hepburn clan. That's my family. We the Hepburns from Rural Avenue, eh? To the Ferguson family. And may my good buddy Hallison Ferguson's soul continue to rest in peace. To our listening audience out there, I take pleasure in introducing you to the man behind the controls, our wonderful producer. Ladies and gentlemen, I reserve no hesitation in presenting to you tonight the insatiable, the man of the hour, the man with all the power. He is fully able, quite capable, the one and only Mr. Craig Gibson. Yes, and he gave that military salute. That ain't no police salute now, that's a military salute. Big difference, right? Right. You're listening to Maritime Matters. On this show, we talk maritime. Maritime Matter airs weekly at 19:30 to 7:30 p.m. every Tuesday here on Love 97. The purpose of our show is to highlight persons that made significant contributions to maritime in the Bahamas and to sensitize Bahamians of opportunities in the maritime sector. We also cover current maritime issues from the domestic and international maritime fields. Halfway through the show, we will open the phone lines. The number to call will be 326-8255. That's 326-8255. Just give us a shout once we get halfway through. We'll have the lines open and we'll be happy to field your questions, my guests and I. We're talking maritime. You're listening to Maritime Matters. At this point, we'll move to our first break. And when we return, we will engage tonight's special guest. Listen, people, don't touch that dial. I kid you not. You do not want to miss this one.
At One-on-One Pharmacy, our friendly staff is ready to serve you. Visit us today for all your prescription and over-the-counter needs at our East Street South or Charles Saunders Highway locations. We're open Monday through Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and from 9 to 4 on Sundays. In a rush? Send your refill scripts online at oneononepharmacy.com or ask about our convenient pickup service. One-on-One Pharmacy, providing personal health care with people at heart. At Bahamas Maritime Connection Limited, we offer first-class maritime security services throughout the Bahamas and the wider Caribbean. As experts in maritime security, we specialize in production of ISPS assessments and plans, verification audits, certified familiarization training, and port security consultancy, just to name a few. Our services also include provision of a security force to maintain all required ISPS facility security compliance. For all your maritime security needs, visit us today in Nassau at our East Street South location or in Freeport in the Kipling building. Call us at 392-3515 or follow us on all social media platforms. Bahamas Maritime Connection, your leader in maritime security. Let's help you make the connection.
And welcome back to Maritime Matters. Again, I am your host, Captain Glenn Bain. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I am pleased to introduce tonight's guest. Hailing all the way from the great city of Nassau, he is a well-polished, well-qualified, and of course, a veteran marine engineer. This kid, ladies and gentlemen, via due diligence, hard work, and preservation, worked his way from the bottom of the pile to the top of the heap. An amazing fellow that stemmed the tide and fitted right in as part of the team that continued to revolutionize our maritime industry. Yes, it's a brother that has, in true fashion, climbed to the mountaintop, wrestled down the Buddha Dean and chewed on the beetle nut. So brace yourself for a highly informative and revealing maritime discussion. I present to you tonight a brother that made a huge difference in maritime history of the Bahamas. A true marine chief engineer, CCAP. Here with me tonight is Chief Engineer Peter STURRUP. Brother Pete, we are privileged to have you on Maritime Matters, my friend.
Yes, good night, Bahamas.
All right, so Brother Pete, where are you from? You from an island? You from a part of Nassau? Where you grew up?
I grew up in, I'm from right here in Nassau.
Okay.
I grew up in Black Village.
Black Village?
Yeah, Black Village.
Well, Black Village is a serious area in those days, man. So, that's you.
Me, Rodney Mungo.
You know the great Mr. Rodney Mungo?
Yeah, all us, we used to be together all the time. Used to carry us farming and stuff.
That's your boy.
Yeah, that's my boy.
All right. Well, you was good people, man.
Yeah, man.
You know all about controversy.
Yeah.
So who were your parents, your close family, children?
My mother and my dad was Roy STURRUP. My mother was Cedar STURRUP.
Okay.
My close family, Joan Sawyer,
Joe and Sawyer is your family?
Yeah.
Okay. You have brothers and sisters too?
Brothers and sisters.
A lot of them, or just a couple?
I have, well, I used a triplet.
Oh, you was a triplet?
Yeah, one died, 2 years ago.
Oh, wow. Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah.
It's 3 boys? Or
3 boys.
3 boys. Oh, may God bless his soul, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh, Peter, you never tell me all this, man.
Yeah,
I come here to learn. All right, so why did you choose to engage in marine engineering? What got you involved in dealing with ships, engineers?
Well, I start off with my brother in Exuma when I came out of school.
So you're from Exuma?
No, yeah, my family from Exuma.
Oh, STURRUP. Which family? They thought to start from Mangrove Key.
No, man. Auntie tell us the road how to get there.
Okay.
They started from Georgetown and then
and branch out. Oh, okay. So from you was growing up at Exuma, you started to do.
I grew up right here now.
Mechanic work. Oh, you grew up here now. When you started to do mechanic work?
When I finished school, I went to Exuma to my brother. My brothers do body work.
Oh, so you schooled it, then you went to Exuma to live for a while. And he did body work.
He did body work.
But how did you get involved in engineering on board boats?
After I started fixing cars and stuff, I said, man, I need to try diesel.
Okay, all right.
And then Rodney Miller,
Captain Rodney Miller, yeah.
He told me, Peter, man, you want to, because I used to work in the casino.
Okay. Oh, what you used to do in the casino?
I used to slaughter attendant.
Oh, you're a big timer. All right, so Brother Rodney asked you if you want to work on the boat.
Yeah, and that's
which boat that was?
Shell.
Oh, that's Shell tanker?
The tankers. I said, yeah, man, let me try it out. I said, well, I like to try it out to see how, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They going on there. The first 3 months, they offered me a chief engineer job. I called the wife, I said.
Chief engineer within 3 months?
In 3 months.
How many years this was?
This was in 92.
Oh, that's way back. That's before the STCW 95 and all that.
Right.
Okay.
So they offered me a job, right? I said, man, I can't take them. I had to call. I called her and tell her.
Call who?
The wife.
Well, you need permission to take a chief engineer.
No, I said no. I couldn't take it because the mom was on vacation.
Oh, okay.
And I feel bad. I said, well, why don't bring him in front of me?
Yeah.
So I said I couldn't take the.
I was trying to take. Want you to take someone's job.
Oh, right.
But that was a Bahamian or foreigner?
That's a foreigner. But I tell him, no, I wouldn't take it like that. I said, man, I'd rather let him come here in the front here,
let's
me,
discuss it, yeah.
And right.
Let's get to the bottom of it.
Right, and they won't do it.
So you didn't take the
I didn't take
job?
It.
Okay. So, I mean, how come because you was working in the engine room with them for a while, how long is them up to that point?
I was there about 6 months.
So when you went there, as an engineer? You went
right. When I went there, I went as a second engineer.
Okay. So how much people had in the engine room at that time?
Only 2.
You and him?
Me and him.
Just the chief engineer and the second engineer?
Right, and then they had a relief.
Okay. You always work like what, 3 months on, 1 month off,
right,
or something
3
like
months,
that?
Right.
Okay, so you would get a relief when you get your 1 month off?
Right.
And of course he would get a relief when he get his 1 month off?
Right, and then after the Shell sell after Shell sell the tankers to marine tankers.
Right, marine tankers bought out everybody, yeah.
Right, and I was supposed to be, went to school. So I said, man, I can't need to go to school. So Shell sent the tanker over to get repairs. Not Shell, marine tankers.
Yeah.
And the tanker went to Florida to get repairs. And a Russian came on board the boat.
Which one of the tankers this was?
This Carib Shell.
Carib Shell, okay. Right.
They sent it over there. Carib Shell came over.
A Russian came?
The Russian came over.
Russian engineer?
Engineer.
From Ukraine?
No, from
Ukraine sent a lot of them.
From Croatia.
From Croatia, oh yeah, right.
And what happened, they was trying to get rid of me.
They was trying to get rid of you and hire him?
And keep the same fellow white job I was supposed to take.
Okay, so they want to get rid of him and let you take his job. Now they want to get rid of you.
They want to get rid of me.
Oh, the marine tankers now?
Yeah, but if I tell you the story, this how the story went.
Right.
Wayne Ritchie was in charge of...
God, may God bless his soul. Yeah, he passed.
He's the one telling the man, don't hire no Bahamians.
Okay. Well, I have heard that for some reason that company didn't really want to hire Bahamians.
Right.
I mean, generally, they wanted all foreigners.
Exactly.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So that's why part of the reason why they wanted to get rid of you then.
And the Russian tell them, no, I can't. Wait, who? Peter no more than him. I can't.
Russian tell them. You know the engine room better than them. Yeah.
So he tell me, say, man, he called me back, sit me down when he's coming back in Nassau. And we coming around Golden Key.
Okay.
Getting our pay together for customs.
Yeah.
He sit down and tell him, say, see Peter here? He can know more than any one of y'all in the whole Bahamas.
In this engine room, yeah.
In this engine room.
How you get so good though? In that, because you didn't go to school yet.
No, I didn't go to school yet. When he come back, right? Let me show you what happened. He come to me, say, Peter, tomorrow, he's called me Bobby. Say, Bobby, tomorrow, what we can do, we can fix all the alarm. Right? I used to wake 4 to 12. Right? Because it was 3 or 10. Right? So I tell him, say, man, look here. All right, I can wake you up in the morning. I had to wake him up. And I used to wake 4 to 8. So I had to wake him up.
Okay.
This shift was 8 to 12.
Right.
So I had to wake him up. Man, I wake up. I go on sleep. I knock on the door, right? I say, Chief. He say, all right, come on, Bobby. So he take long to come, so I go on sleep. So when I get up around 11 o'clock, I go on lay down. I wake up around 11 o'clock. I say, Bobby, ready? He said, Bobby, I finished that. From that day on, he said he finished the week. I never sleep no more. I been up from him straight through.
You been dressing?
Man, he tell me, say, I done missed the lesson.
Wow.
And from that night on, and that morning, I stay up. When he go sleep, I go sleep.
Okay, all right. So we used to be watching the engine when 2 years sleeping?
Well, we had we used to watch the engine, right? But I mean, like, how we had it set up.
Yeah.
We put an alarm on it. You know what I mean? In case something go wrong.
It'll beep, yeah.
Right, you know what I mean? And that's what he's telling me. Say, all these here. Say, boy, we don't have to watch this engine like that. I can make sure we can set up everything. So, you know what I mean? If someone come, if you build the engine room too long, then we go from there. You know what I mean?
All right.
And that's how we had it set up. And I never, from that day on, I never missed no more lesson from him.
Okay, so you learned from him, and you learned pretty well, yeah. So that's why you knew that particular ship better than just about anybody else.
Exactly.
Okay.
So after that, I actually finished that. After that, I say, all right, it's time to make some money now.
Yeah.
So I say, I round the can, I say, man, look here. How come they getting this man, they're getting a job, and they, you know what I mean? I can do the job too.
So you didn't have the job yet?
No, I was never no chief engineer on there.
Wow. So you just second engineer straight through?
Yeah, I used to be the release.
You keep bringing in people?
Right. You keep bringing in people, and there's foreigners.
Okay.
Right? So what happened now, I do to get qualified. He tell me, say, Bobby, why are you making all this noise? You need to get papers, man. If you get papers, you can make the noise.
That's what he tell you?
Yeah, because you know at the time when they was introducing the SCDW 95,
right?
Everyone had to be certified.
Yeah, you had to go and even if you had a home trade, you still had to go get some courses to recertify and change it over.
Yeah, let me when the inspection come before they start doing all the inspection, right? When they come from school, they send me on every boat with marine tank is hot. I get every inspection on every boat.
So you had to go prepare the boat for inspection?
Every one of them.
Wow.
When the man see me, the man say,
you again?
Peter, you again?
I see one other about that.
They used to stop the boat at the sea.
Wow.
And put me on a boat.
Just for inspection.
Yeah. Because I was the only person at the time
who know how everything ran.
Right.
And they wouldn't give you the chief engineer post?
No. Man, and what happened that day when I was trying to get.
You think it's because you was Bahamian?
Yeah.
Because if you was a foreigner, you would get a post long time.
Long time.
Okay, so all right, so you was with so you was a marine tankers. That was really your first engineering jobs.
Right.
And then what happened? You separate. How long were you with them before you got out?
I gone there I've been there about 8 years.
All that?
Yeah.
And they never give you chief engineer post?
I had chief engineer post, you know. It was only when Vingo go.
Right. You'll sit in.
I'll sit in.
But they never give you the chief engineer one of the vessels?
No, never.
So what nationalities they had as chief engineers on these boats?
They had a couple Croatians, Jamaican.
They had Jamaican chief engineer.
Yeah, and they had Guyanese.
Chief engineer.
Chief engineer.
So they come with papers, eh?
And they expected to buy the papers, man.
Oh, well, you could have buy papers back then.
Yeah, man.
It's not as easy these days.
No.
Okay.
You know
so they were all coming in as chief engineers, and they were keeping you a second engineer.
Right.
Wow. So how? Okay. So you say you was there for like 8 years. What happened after the 8 years? You left them, and what?
After 8 years, then I was in Tamago called me.
Okay, Tamco Shipping. That's
Yeah.
that's me and your company.
Right.
Yeah,
And
that's my first
going-
opportunity to
right.
learn maritime too. When I went to Tamco Shipping.
Right. And I end up there.
Right. Which one of the boats you was on?
The Freeport Flyer.
You was on the flyer for how long?
About 2 years, for 2 years.
Okay, all right. So you was with Captain Black for
Captain
the most
Black.
part. Raymond Black.
Right.
You worked with him before that?
No, never.
Okay. So you was who was your second engineer while you was on
when-
flyer?
I had a
Filipino way.
Filipino.
Okay, yeah.
A Filipino.
We had a lot of Filipino engineers.
There's a Filipino, and then like they had I was in charge about at least 10 fellas on the boat.
Yeah.
10 fellas.
Okay.
Second, because they had second fiddle. They had right.
Yeah.
You know
Fitter, the oiler.
And couple of Jamaicans with their too.
While he was there?
Right.
Okay, all right. Yeah, because I remember Kirk came in eventually.
And then the fellas didn't want to teach you nothing, man. They didn't want to teach, at least as a chief engineer, I now worry, but that's one teaching me anything.
Yeah, you didn't need no.
I don't need no in
you
from
knew your way
that,
around the
right?
engine room, yeah.
Right. But like say, when I first gone on the tankers, boy, you don't want to teach me nothing.
When you say what the name taught you, you had to watch him. He tell you watch him while you take a
Like,
mess.
that's I mean like before he came.
Oh, so you was there for a while before you link up with him?
I've been there for almost 3 years before I
Before
linked
he
with-
came?
Before he
Wow.
came. And I used to grab the book and look at the
Try
book
to learn.
and learn the book.
You know, buddy,
they don't want
you. They don't want you know.
And I told you guys to teach, don't worry about them.
But you know, we had people back in the day, I understand, who used to turn the chat over. The captains used to turn the chat over and don't want to make nobody learn how to
Yeah,
navigate.
man.
That was just a thing in them days. Eh?
Wow, we tell you.
Well, we got a line. Hello, good night. You're on Maritime Matters. Hello.
Oh, good night. How are you?
I'm in top shape and getting better, my dear. And how are you?
I am well. I'm calling all the way from San Antonio, and I heard one of my previous company names called.
Hey, it's like Misty. yes. You see how that company used to be carrying on back in the day. What you saying? How you doing? Let us know what's up.
I'm good. Good night to you, Jess. Good night, Bahamas.
This is my daughter from San Antonio, Texas.
Okay,
you know
okay.
Misty? I know you should know her. She's in Maritime as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Misty, what you saying, honey?
I'm okay. I called just to talk about marine tankers. You can say a lot of this, but marine
That's
tankers is a
normal,
good
man.
company.
No.
And Captain Richie, God bless his soul,
Yeah, Mason.
very good friend of mine.
Yes.
But it's good to hear that we have another professional mariner on the call. I'll continue to listen. I've heard about the Freeport Flyer so far, and I know your time is in time to go. So,
Yes.
but it's good to hear.
Peter Sturrup here was an engineer on board Carib Shell when they used to call them shell tankers back then. The Shell had just bought
Correct.
most of the ships, and this is before marine tankers bought them out. And when marine tankers bought them out, they spread around and they took over the whole area, SO, Shell, and everybody else. So Peter was an engineer with them for like many years, and then he of course came into Abaco shipping sometime thereafter, and that's where we are now. I can see where he went after that. So thank you for calling and thank you for tuning in to Maritime all the way from Texas.
Thank you. I'll continue listening, sir. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you. Wonderful. Yeah, she's a cap. You know, she went on bulk carriers and stuff. She went to university to do marine transportation and all that. So she have a good idea what goes on in maritime.
Yeah, man, that's good.
She been on the show a couple of times.
That's good, man. That's good.
Yeah. So you worked with Abaco for two. I was only there for 2 years because I think after a while what they came to do was finish with the Atlantis thing, all the transport, and they basically disseminated. So what happened since then?
I've been a couple of small little vessels. I forget the name.
But did you go back to marine tankers?
Now I went back.
Okay, because I know you at some point you had to go and get certified just for Abaco shipping it.
No, I get certified for marine tankers.
So you was at marine tankers when you was getting your
Right,
certification?
when I was getting my certification.
Because I remember when you had to go off.
Right, I had to go off. That's when the same time when Bingo, my boss tell me, say, boy, since you making all this noise, go to school.
Go get paper.
Right, and when I came back with my paper, That's what happened.
Yeah.
When I came back with my papers, and I presented on the table them, right? You know what he tell me?
What?
It's impossible you get this.
Oh, so you wasn't supposed to be able to get papers, only the foreigners?
I talk about the qualification that I had, because you remember when they sent it to London, London sent it back.
They're trying to give you problems. I
Right.
remember, and I had to get on them.
Yeah, they
That's
say,
where they met you.
right.
Uh-huh.
So he tell me, say, it's impossible for them to give you all this, because I end up doing air conditioning refrigeration,
Right.
and I never did it like before in the field, right? But I had all the practical. I had to do the practical.
Okay, you could do the practice. You did the theory and
Right.
did a
And not the
formal
theory,
course.
not the practical theory. I did the theory.
Oh, but you never really
I never
practice it.
Right. Only on board the ship when Ringo used to show me little things.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
So
where you did that? Where you did your refrigeration and training?
I go on in Miami and Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, this maritime professional.
Right.
Oh, you did everything there.
I did just about everything now.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember I told you they would be able to.
Everything. I did everything.
Remember when? Because I think there was a crossover, but they're bigger than engineering now. And you was able to get your, I think as chief engineer, up to 3,000 kilowatt.
Right. But they when they issue me a certificate for 6,000 kilowatts.
Oh, for 6,000.
And they told me, they sent it back. And when you called me and then me say, Peter, boy, we have to call the school, and because the people say they can't give you this unlimited license because of the tonnage that you was on. I was only
your
500,
experience.
right? 500 gross
Under
ton.
500 gross tons. Yeah.
Right. I was under
500 kilowatts.
No gross tonnage.
Under 3,000 kilowatts.
No, 3,000. I could get it for that. Right.
Right.
But they tell me my gross tonnage.
It wasn't on unlimited size.
Right. To get the unlimited license, because I was qualified for unlimited, with chief unlimited license. Right.
Your experience, yeah.
Because when I went to school, I was the only Negro in the classroom.
Yeah, it was all white people.
And guess what was happening at the time? Remember? Because remember after all the ships them and the coast, like you said, the military.
Yeah.
You said earlier, they had to come back and get certified.
Oh, Coast Guard officers.
Right.
Yeah, they were coming there to do the course.
They was coming there, and these fellas been on tankers. They don't want to go on tankers and all that stuff, so they had to get qualified. And these fellas had unlimited license.
You see, this is the thing with certifying in maritime, and a lot of people is big at argument, pro and con surrounding Defense Force personnel. Because when I was in the Defense Force, of course, the military don't have to do anything pertaining to international compliance.
Right.
Right?
Same
They don't
with
even
Coast
have to get
Guard.
inspected. Their ships don't even get inspected.
Right.
They don't do surveys and all that.
Right.
Right? Same thing with Coast Guard. But Coast Guard still ensures that the people who working on the vessel are up to the standard of those who have to have it in the marine, in the merchant navy or merchant marine. Right? So I am saying that even in the Defense Force, and the reason why we have so much Defense Force, and I realized that after I got out of Defense Force, and I saw how they have to maintain tropical ships, barricade, marine tankers, I realized, I see why Defense Force ships breaking down, because they don't have a system. They don't even, then the safety management system came out.
Oh man, that was the best system ever.
That came out, so you had to do all kinds of things, right? But in Defense Force, they don't do these things. And I'm saying that a Defense Force person joining the Defense Force, and they're an engineer in defense, before they already do their 25 or 30 years or get 55 years old or whatever area they work on a ship, they should make sure they have the relevant certification from the maritime school. Back in our days,
right,
it had to been done. It had to been done by way of maritime professional training or Star Center, right? But they got this institution called LJM, which offers a litany of courses to make you an engineer officer to the level where you could keep an engineering watch. International.
Wow.
It's a 2 or 3, I think 3-year course.
Wow.
Right here in the Bahamas. Me and you wouldn't have had that nowadays.
No.
Right? They also have deck officers courses to make you a deck watch officer. Right? Officer in charge of navigation watch. And they have people who have done that training, went on cruise ships and And I think they may even have chief mates on cruise ships now, right? Safety officers, just continuing to move along to try and become a captain on a cruise ship. But I'm saying that we have a whole defense force now, the largest entity, and the engineers. And let me tell you something, they had good engineers in the defense force, right? I remember people like Dane Milson, God bless his soul, right? Immaculate engineer, very good engineer. Ken Brooks, I don't know if you met Brooks by fast. Ken Brooks was a pretty good engineer. I worked directly with him.
I worked with Brooks before.
Yeah, but Big Williams. We had Woodside, Charles Woodside, and there's a litany of them, right? Blue, who was on the Marlin when that got. We had Dusty Miller. We had some even Merrill Stubbs, right? Mm-hmm. Some really good engineers, but not one of them they allowed or made provisions to get certified commercially. And today we got people leaving the defense force as engineers, but not one piece of paper to say they could be an engineer.
You can't do that because they're military.
You know, they could do that. They do it in Jamaica, right? What? And I remember Admiral Brady because of this, right? He and I attended a lot of conferences and stuff. We got close, and he told me, say, Ben, let me tell you what we did. When my officers want to certify, I encourage them. I will give them time off to sail on merchant ships until they get their master mariner, until they get their chief engineer. I will give them all the time they need to sail to meet the requirements, right? And while they're sailing out there, they're making money, and plus I'm still paying them.
Exactly.
And when it's time for them to retire, they would be retiring with certification, and the certification that they have is very well utilized in our Coast Guard. So our vessels don't break down as much because we got people who are certified commercially, and they go there and they see what needs to be done, and they come and they bring that in our force, right? We got and this is the way things, in my opinion, supposed to run, right? And I tell people, I say, we got, you know, they always say we ain't got no engineers. When last you been on board a ski dog?
My ex-boss is thing. I've been doing some work for Tom now.
Oh, Tom Anna, good man.
Yeah.
So how many Bahamian engineers?
He's looking for engineering now as we speak.
But all of them need engineers. But we know the story out there.
Yeah.
You know Bahamian engineers out there.
No.
Right? And is there a reason why at this stage of the game, I mean, we decades away from when you was a chief engineer or a second engineer, and there's another fellow, Kevin Ramin.
Kevin, yeah.
Remember Kevin?
Yeah.
Kevin was the second engineer on the feeder.
The feeder.
The feeder, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's going to fly a couple times.
Right.
Yeah, but Kevin is one that Ben out there and certified, and it's so few of you guys, right? It's so few of you. Now we have a lot of deck officers that Ben out there, they qualified to become officer in charge of navigation watch, master, up to 3,000 gross ton ships like I did, right? And second mate unlimited and that type of thing. And that's the reality of where we at in this country with certification. But when it comes to engineering, my brother,
ain't much.
It's like less than 5.
Yeah.
Right? And well, with what's going on now at LJM, I would state that, you know, because LJM has to be streamlined to issue certification based on the STCW code. Now they're not going to issue the license, but they can't.
Yeah.
The BMA got to issue a license. Right. But what LJM would do is they would give you the required training so that BMA can issue the license.
Okay.
Right? So we don't have to go to Fort Lauderdale no more to do that training like most of us did back in the day. We didn't have much options. Right? Unless you
what would they do advanced firefighting and do?
Yeah, but those are just the prerequisites.
Okay.
That they call them endorsement courses, right? Advanced firefighting, for off-deck officers, we had to do radar, observer, unlimited. We had to do, it's just a litany of other courses, right? That we had to do in order to get certified. I think the engineers only got to do advanced firefighting along with the chief engineering course. Right. So at LJM, they got workshops worth millions of dollars. I've had a tour.
I need to go there, man. How
you never been there?
I've never been there.
We call Miss Claire, Miss Brenda Claire. She was on the show too. They are open to people coming and having a look around. They don't have issues with that. So I guess you could just call first, but of course, if you want me to make a call and
yeah, man,
I'll be able to speak. Yeah, you would need. I think somebody like you been through the trenches. They should even have you come and do lectures.
But I can tell you something, back in 2013, I think 2013 or 12, right? Because a child friend,
right,
Stephen McPhee, he was a principal at L.W. Young, right? He came to me, he said, Peter, man, I get these little boys here, man, but they ain't doing well in school.
Right.
Right? Can you help me out? I say, yeah, man, I could put something together. Every time I come home for 2 weeks, I could go back to school, I could train these fellas, teach these fellas engineer or whatever. But somehow, that never
materialized.
Yeah, man.
So, you know,
and I was willing to, I say, man, I tell him, I don't want no money.
No, you don't need to eat. Well, they can't pay you for that kind of thing.
I say,
I tell people they can't pay me for that, but I'll come and I'll be happy to do it for you. But don't put me on no salary because I don't want to pay.
Well,
I just love to give back, especially if it's students who are interested, you know.
Yeah, for real.
So what is your most memorable maritime moment? Oh, let me ask, you've been sailing as chief engineer. You had a big fire, you had anything that really happened that you'll never forget?
Boy, plenty.
You don't know where to start, eh? It got to be something that stand out that you say, boy, look here, that was, that you probably was close to sinking or saw dead or...
No, when he's getting Honduras one time.
Oh, you went Honduras?
Yeah,
which boat? Which size vessel?
It's a
tugboat.
Tugboat.
Okay.
He's getting pull one ship.
How old was the tugboat?
It's it's a brand new one. Like 2012, 10.
What? Okay.
You know what I mean?
And you was going Honduras to bring a vessel back up.
Yeah, when we look, all you see is like sparks coming from the back of the boat.
What was causing that?
The oil line burst and leaking to the table, and all the spark was coming to the next one.
So oil was getting on the table.
Right, going to the table.
Gee.
To the exhaust.
Yeah.
Spark
it. So what you had to do? I mean, how you get over that problem?
Well, we got to run downstairs.
Of course, you had to stop the boat.
Stop the boat, slow down the engine, and then when we went, after we went down there, there was two of us.
Two
I was the chief.
2 engineers.
2 engineers.
All right.
After we had to try and make a tool on the boat so we could get our oil leak stopped.
So what you had to do to actually stop that oil leak?
There's an oil line. The oil line was cracked.
So you had to
we had to flare, right? Put a flare. We had to flare it back in place.
Flare out.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the next one is worse than that. When we sinking on the Carib shell.
Oh, that's back in the day.
Boy, what else today?
What area was it?
We was going Rum Key.
So how far you was in you done past Exoma? You done passed through the
No, we was going passing Rum Key. So Manaki.
Oh, you was already down by Rum Key area.
Right, and man, look here, the boat taking on water.
Y'all done past Rum Key or you was going?
You done past Rum Key.
But y'all was going make
money. Takes and cake.
Oh, you was going to take silent. Yeah.
And what happened is that when we the mate tell me, say, Peter boy, we sinking boy.
Y'all taking on water.
Right, so I said, what do you mean sinking? He said, that means every time the light for the mast go down, it's taking long to come back.
Oh, that's in the night?
It's in the night.
Oh, you can't see the water.
Can't see the water. That time we get LPG tank, you know.
On top, yeah.
Yeah, and man, that morning when you wake up, the whole LPG tank under the water.
What?
And that's what I do. They had a tie rope on me to go open the door so I can see the line. Tie rope.
What was
tie, see, to open the valve, so I could pump the boat, ballast out. Come to find when we reach, after we find out what the problem was, the hose pipe was burst. And the water was getting the ballast tank.
Coming through the hose pipe.
Right. They had a tie rope so I could open the valve.
That was indeed an incident. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Maritime Matters. I'm your host, Captain Glenn Bain. We are midway in discussion with our guest for the night, Chief Engineer Peter STURRUP, and he's telling us about some of his encounters at sea as a chief engineer, what he had to do to save certain ships, and all the rest of that good stuff. We're going to just move to commercial break and come back in and let Peter tell us about what they had to do to stop this ship from actually sinking. It's a LPG big tank on the tanker. They were going to Turks Island. They were between Rum Key and we just passed Samana Key, or heading for Samana Key, while the vessel was, the tank that's on deck was actually almost all the way down. So according to him, they had to tie a rope around him so he could swim in the water to go and open a hatch. So we're going to see what Peter has of how they got out of that situation when we return from this, our second commercial break.
At One-on-One Pharmacy, our friendly staff is ready to serve you. Visit us today for all your prescription and over-the-counter needs at our East Street South or Charles Saunders Highway locations. We're open Monday through Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and from 9 to 4 on Sundays. In a rush? Send your refill scripts online at oneononepharmacy.com or ask about our convenient pickup service. One-on-One Pharmacy, providing personal health care with people at heart. At Bahamas Maritime Connection Limited, we offer first-class maritime security services throughout the Bahamas and the wider Caribbean. As experts in maritime security, we specialize in production of ISPS assessments and plans, verification audits, certified familiarization training, and port security consultancy, just to name a few. Our services also include provision of a security force to maintain all required ISPS facility security compliance. For all your maritime security needs, visit us today in Nassau at our East Street South location or in Freeport in the Kipling Building. Call us at 392-3515 or follow us on all social media platforms. Bahamas Maritime Connection, your leader in maritime security. Let's help you make the connection.
Sitting in the morning sun, I'll be sitting.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Maritime Matters. Maritime Matters. I'm your host, Captain Glenn Bain, and we are in deep discussion as to what happened on this tanker that was about to sink in the ocean between, well, not between, yeah, somewhere after Rum Key headed for Samana and Planet Keys to come around, make one to go all the way up to Grand Turk. And I have my guest tonight, Mr. Peter STURRUP, Chief Engineer Peter STURRUP, very veteran, very knowledgeable, and he's going to tell us what he had to do or what had to happen in order for them to save the tanker from going below the ocean. Go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, when they put a rope around me, right, we had to go in the hatch to open where all our cargo was. And as we opened the door, all the drums.
With cargo, you mean your fuel cargo?
No, oil. We used to carry oil.
Oh, the oil drums.
The oil drums. We used to carry oil.
Yeah, on that.
In the hatch.
Right. So that was flooded with water.
Right, that was flooded with water. As we opened the door, all you see the drum started floating out, but I still had to go in there because the valve was in the hatch.
Oh, so you had to close that valve so the water could stop coming out?
I had to open the valve so the water could come out. So we could pump. I could go back in the engine and pump it out.
Okay. I see. So you had to get that valve open so you could go in the engine room and let the pumps take the water out of the. That was the
ballast tank, the forward ballast tank.
The forward ballast tank, yeah.
Right,
wow.
But after we figured that didn't work.
That didn't work?
No.
And this in the middle of the night?
Yeah, so we asked the captain, what you gonna do?
What you expect the captain to be able to do if you can't make it?
Captain do behind this? I don't know.
I wouldn't know either if I was the captain. You was the engineer.
What you mean? This the captain? I know what to do.
Okay.
Right?
So what y'all had to do?
I say we gotta let some of this propane go.
Oh, you gotta lighten the load.
You gotta lighten the load.
Wow.
So we had to lighten the load. We had to take we call Shell. Shell decided to say, oh wait, but you all
saved the ship.
That saved the ship.
Yeah.
So I tell you, we let this propane go.
So the propane tank would serve as a ballast tank.
Ah, right. It's keeping us afloat.
Right. It wouldn't sink, but if it's full, it going on.
It going on. That time, in that morning when you wake up, and like the 20-foot seas, you know.
What you mean when you all wake up, you all gonna go sleep after that?
No, I mean, like, you know what I mean, like
when daylight comes.
When daylight came,
yeah.
And man, when we look down there, all you see then you look and say, wow. And we managed to get the boat, the crocodile.
Come back up. So how? What you all had to do to let the cargo out of that tank?
We open the valve.
Open the
manifold. Yeah, open all the manifold. Like they have plenty of manifold
connected to it. Yeah.
Right. So we just let the gas go, open the manifold, and free flow.
Let it just go.
Yeah, keep letting it go.
Okay, and that actually saved the ship.
Right. That saved the ship.
So once that was empty, that was the only thing keeping the ship up there.
No, not that and the tanks, the ballast tank, and the propane tanks, because we had 4 propane tanks on it.
Right. So you let the car go to the 4 propane tanks.
Yeah, but it wasn't going down like how you.
It wouldn't go all the way down.
But what happened about was coming up a little more. Okay. So we was able to, you know what I mean?
I was able to maneuver.
Right. And as we get close to land.
So you all went to land real point.
Yeah, we shared straight to a crocodile.
Right.
When we reached, I'd say, 30 feet of water, the boat stopped.
What you mean, the engine stopped?
No, the bow hit. That's how deep the boat was.
Oh, yeah, because the whole boat basically underwater.
Yeah, man, the whole base was underwater.
So how you all get out of that? Who come you all had to get out? Somebody come and pull you all out?
One come pull us. The fella tell me, right, I was on watch.
Yeah, but it don't matter who on watch, man.
Listen, what I said, I was on watch. Yeah. I was on watch. The way the fella sleeping. Some people were sleeping.
While all this is going on, some people were sleeping?
He thought I was joking. I said, boy, look here, we getting ready to sing, boy. He thought I was joking.
This ain't no engineer.
No, that's a deckhand.
And he gonna stay. But he should have been getting better.
Man, I tell you, I try. I said, but if he won't move, I gotta move, because I gotta try to save myself.
Wow. So how you all eventually got the ship back?
After you let all our propane out,
yeah.
The floats, you can see the boat started to come up.
Right.
And as we go close to the land,
when
we
the bottom hit the boat.
No, the bow.
The bow hit the bottom.
The bow. Because we had the mast on top of the bow was about 20 feet.
Yeah.
Right, and that was touching when the wave break over, that taking long to come up.
So it was still there rough.
It was rough.
So the bow now on the bottom, so the boat rolling.
Yeah, after we reached.
That's like a boat anchor with the bow.
So all we do is drop anchor.
Right.
We go on top of it after, because we still was underwater.
And you have daylight now.
We get daylight now, so we get to see exactly what's going on.
Right.
So when we look, I'd say, okay, fellas, you must see the water coming to the horse pipe craft.
So you was able to let that water out now?
Yeah, because we still pump it out. We forget now. We don't forget now. We done opened it from time we the casino. We still pumping.
You're pumping all the time.
All the time.
But water still coming into the horse pipe.
Water still was coming to the horse pipe.
So once the boat was stationary, the horse pipe, the water ain't leaking through there no more.
Right. Once it reached above the sea level, then she started.
And as you pump the water out, the boat keep coming up.
And that's what the fellow won't tell me to do.
What?
Shut off the engine.
Who? You mean while you was out there?
The chief engineer.
Why you want the engine off?
Because one engine run hot. I said, boy, we can burn this man engine up, but you didn't worry about that, we gotta go, boy.
You save the ship?
Like I saved the ship, we told him to stop the engine.
Wow. So, after that, you had to come back home, you had no more cargo, eh?
Who come back home, yeah? We go straight takes.
You let go almost all the cargo.
No, we had diesel and oil.
Oh, you had some stuff in
yeah, we had gas and, you know what I mean? They wasn't contaminated.
So so the engine was okay after that?
Yeah, no, we had to get one repair.
Yeah, because those engines the engine room should have been flat out, eh?
No.
It didn't get flat out?
The bow. It's more on the bow.
Oh, the bow was down.
The bow was
because
down.
the ballast tank on the bow, yeah.
Right. The bow was down, but the engine room was all right.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, that's something nobody you really
can't forget. What? I'll never forget that.
Okay, so I guess that was the voice of the voice.
Yeah, man, that's the voice.
So what was your biggest obstacle that you encountered on your maritime journey? As far as, I mean, you talk about the obstacle when they didn't want Bahamians to move up the ranks in that organization. You had any obstacles in getting your license? I think I had to help you along the way somehow in getting BMA to get you that license.
Yeah, that's the only obstacle is that when what I said earlier, that they had to send my license, they had to send my certification back to the maritime school where I went to.
Right.
And that, you know what I mean? But other than that, and the next obstacle is money. It's money, you know what I mean? Fellas don't want to pay. Bahamian like owners.
They don't want to pay?
Like say for instance,
they don't want to pay on time.
If I get my car, I get my certification.
Right.
And I say, Peter man, I want you to, can you work for me, man? I say, yeah, no problem. You pay me X, Y, Z. No.
I know some engineers that say, well, I'll work for $300 a day.
Man, some must work for $100 a day right now.
Qualified, certified?
Boy, these people, boy, that's how it go now, man. That's how it look. It's going so terrible.
Wow.
Now, I think they qualify, you know what I mean?
But they'll take the job.
And then, like, most guys will tell you, I mean, most owners will tell you, and you get you certified, they tell you, say, man, you can pay someone up the street.
Yeah, I don't need a certification.
I don't need a certification.
Which is true, because in this country, we're supposed to have a system of issuing local safety certificates to non-soulless vessels. And that system would require a ship owner to have certified people on board, because his ship got to be surveyed every year. You know, local boats.
We don't do that.
But that's because local vessels don't fall under the Soulless Convention. But according to the Merchant Shipping Act, the ones that do not fall under the Soulless Convention supposed to be issued by the Bahamas Maritime Authority with a local safety certificate, which will ensure that they are surveyed every year. This will ensure that they have certified workers on board, that's deck and engine and cook and everything else, which will certify that they dry dock in the vessel on time, which will certify that, because the survey will be testing these areas just like they do on the international solar ships, right? And it could be a watered down version, but it'll be happening. So a lot of vessels, as we know in our system, they don't dry dock unless they hit bottom,
right? Or
something start breaking, or the shaft start taking in water from a cutlass bearing. Or they can make sure they have to take it out of the water.
They get their money away.
They have to take it out of the water, otherwise they can spend that $300,000 to take it out and do what need to be done. Mind you, they're making the money now because they're charging the money for what they do, but they're not maintaining the vessel. And I think that's a big problem in this country, because if the BMA right now...
So how we can fix that?
We gotta fix that by causing the BMA to bring that local safety certificate system in place. Because the first thing that system is going to do, well, they have to find surveyors like myself and probably you people who have experience on ships and know how to survey ships, right? And once they identify local surveyors, and they may call them local ROs, recognized organizations or whatever, but the BMA would have to give you that sanction, right? Once they do that, they will create, just like how you create your SMS and your stuff on ISM, they will create a system of surveying, which means you have to get, you familiar with the Caribbean Code certification package? Yeah, you got to do your load line.
Right.
You got to do your radio, safety radio. You got to do your safety equipment. You got to do all this safety stuff, and they will sign off a certificate within that local safety certificate package that you need to maintain. You'll get your local safety certificate, which will be good for 5 years, and every year endorsements have to be done to keep it valid within the 3-month period of the anniversary date that you got that. And every vessel would need to have certified people, because that surveyor is going to say, I want to see the licenses for your chief engineer and your engineer rating. Because some boats, they don't run like boats would going all over the world. They may not need 2 engineers, they may need 1 officer, the chief engineer, and an oiler or fitter, something like that, right? So you would have to show those licenses. You would have to see the licenses for a captain, for under 500 tons, if you boat under 500 tons, a mate, and in some cases, or the captain and officer of watch, right? But in any case,
we didn't really ever get that.
That's where we have to go because it's all. I knew it was already in the books. I can keep pushing for it. I can keep pushing for it, right? And I'm sure I'll be able to get some people to come on board and push for it because we got to go in writing after. We fall on deaf ears all the time.
Exactly.
But the BMA is aware. I can assure you that Captain Dwayne Hutchinson is aware. Maybe not the technical staff because most of them are foreign, right? You know, the technical hub is in London.
Right.
And I don't know for the likes of me why the BMA don't have their headquarters in Nassau. You know, with things going the way it's going now, with all the electronics and technology, you don't need to be in London to run a BMA. Bring those 4 or 5 foreigners here with all the Bahamians because they mainly got Bahamians running office, you know.
I know.
Only in the technical area they don't have Bahamians. They have mainly foreigners. They may have 1 or 2 Bahamians, but mostly they can't find Bahamians because they don't prepare Bahamians to do that kind of work, right? And it's because of those type things we're falling short on what we need to do to keep things going. But you know and I know in the industry, a lot of things can be done that ain't being done.
Yeah, man.
Right? And the main thing is the issuance of a local safety certificate to say that these ships operating domestically are safe to operate. Safe from the perspective of engineering. They got to check all the piping, you know. And then, for the most part, how do we deal? Because a lot of people call the show and ask about oil being pumped into the sea.
Man.
So, how does our local vessel deal with the waste oil? Like they get change oil every so often. What's the system for that to happen? Well, do they dump it in the water? Or do they pay for a truck to come and pump it out? Or how do they deal with it?
Most ships, like my teachers to tell me, say, oh, we slack country, man. Everything pump overboard.
They usually pump the waste oil overboard. Pump the bilge overboard.
Everything overboard. No holding tank.
The boats don't have no holding tank.
Some of these boats don't have no holding tank.
I know. Most of them don't have no holding tank.
You know what I mean? Some of them even have no sewer tank.
So they almost have to, well, they ain't none of them got no sewer.
So everything got to go overboard?
Yeah, well, I know all the sewage go overboard. And you know, we look at the big international ships and we say, oh, them cruise ships be pumping, but we forget.
We do the same.
We have a whole fleet of mail boats.
Good.
We have a whole fleet of fishing boats. We have a whole fleet of all kind of boats. And they all got toilets. And we forget that those toilets pump straight in the sea. Even when they're in port.
But Carl, let me tell you something. You ever go down Portishead, not Portishead Dock, by back in the days ago by Brent Simmons. We Brent Simmons dock is.
Oh, you mean?
We Dublin them used to, the county used to park their boat.
You mean where the yachts go now?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, back in the day, when you go there, you see all that garbage, right? Mm-hmm. And it used to be under the dock.
Yeah.
God bless our harbor. It's clean and garbage.
We have a flush in harbor.
We got a flush in harbor.
If we didn't have a flush in harbor,
where would have been a problem?
This whole island would have been stink.
Man, I'm telling you.
You know, because whenever tide coming up, the water goes to the east
and that water
keep going out.
Keep going out.
If you're on Porter's Key, you'll see the water rushing underneath the dock. That's why they have those outlets for those spaces for water to pass under the dock. And then when tide ebb, of course they go the other way and you see the water and that's be a lot of current to fall and that you're getting carried.
Man.
So thank God our harbor flushes, man. Because we don't have no enforcement of regulations pertaining to the flushing of toilets from these small vessels.
But I understand they're supposed to start doing that, you know. All they're supposed to be having a holding tank.
Well, they can't do it unless they make it law. Well, not law. They got to put it somewhere as a requirement. And that's why I say if they start the local safety certificate, they could use that as a method to say, now, if you don't have a local safety certificate, when you go to the port department, that's the first thing they ask you for. We need a copy of your valid local safety certificate, which means you had the surveys done, which means the surveyor makes sure all those things is in place. Even if it means that you got to collect the stuff in a barrel And then when you reach it, I mean, the waste oil now, I even ain't talking about sewage. Cause
yeah.
sewage is a totally different topic.
Yeah.
Right? We don't have facilitation at Porter's Key to receive them kind of things. So before we even could make ships do that, we got put infrastructure in place to actually receive and collect those things. But we could deal with, we don't want oil in our water.
No.
Eh? Because we know what the oil is doing to us and doing to our waters. So what would you say to the young chap today that decides, I want to be a ship engineer? You think he, I mean, as a Bahamian, he goes to LJM, he starts to do his, because we still have the fleet of tankers. And we only have them for another 15 years, because you know fossil fuel will be gone in 15 years.
But what I tell them, if you love this engineer field,
yeah,
take it, man.
Because you still got the ship, still got the propeller, still got carry no matter what causes it to turn.
And they could take you. This could take you all over the world, right? Even right now, right? I on a boat, but I could fix any dump truck, any garbage truck, you know what I mean? Any machine.
Machine is a machine.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I have 2 boys. I have 3 boys.
Okay.
2 of them.
They
do mechanic work.
Okay. So so 2 of the 3 boys you have are mechanics.
Mechanics.
What kind of when you say mechanic, you talking about auto mechanic or you talking about ship mechanic?
Auto mechanic. I ain't none of them go to sea. I don't know why, but ain't none of them do it.
Let's talk God for us and say Bahamians don't like to go to sea. Well, how come you didn't introduce them to go in an engine room and go to sea?
I used to carry one of them with me.
In the engine room too?
Yeah, carry him freeboard, carry him.
He didn't like it?
No, he didn't like it, but you know what I mean? When he come to school, he used to tell him, put my daddy back. I won't be hard like my daddy, but my daddy can fix anything.
So he really wanted to be an engineer on the ship?
He wanted to be a mechanic. And
he don't like to sail then?
No, he didn't like to sail.
He gets seasick?
Yeah.
He's a pukey pimp.
But he been to Texas, you know what I mean? He been to Texas to do heavy duty equipment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's one of the top techs right now in the Bahamas.
Top techs?
Yeah, man. I talking about like no, I talking about on heavy duty equipment. Electronics.
Like what? Like tractors and stuff. When you say heavy duty equipment?
Like tractors, all electrical part of that. He get a machine.
Oh, he's more of a technician.
Technician, yeah.
Okay, all right. So how he got his training for that?
He going in Texas.
He went to Texas to do his studies.
Yeah, he been there for a year and something.
Wow. And he came back now, and that's his specialty.
Yeah, he used to wait the port department over here, the crane.
Freeport?
No, the container port.
Freeport container port?
No.
Oh, NASA. You mean Abaco?
Yeah.
APD.
You ever say, Daddy, man, I can't wait there anymore. Say, yeah, that's it. So he quit. Going to UN.
Yeah, you what do you do now? I mean, you retired, or you semi-retired, or
getting ready to semi-retire. Getting retired now.
You semi-retired now. You soon get ready to retire.
Yeah, man.
But do you still deal with ship engines?
Yeah, yeah, man. I still do a ship.
Okay. How often do you get?
I do. Right now, I get one of my oldest son. Right now, I show him some ship work. We doing some work now on a small vessel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Engineering. Machinery work.
But what I like to do though, I like to boy. So if I can find, you can find them fellas young, man. Like say like 12.
That young?
Yeah. And 13. See, because after 16, the fellas and they ain't a young woman and stuff, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you got some.
But you find some fellas
schools.
Who won't work?
Who willing to work? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not on the phone every minute.
I think a big part of our problem in this country is a lot of young men. They like their grass.
Yeah, man.
Right? We get a handful who don't smoke the grass because the grass makes you lazy. I mean, based on what I've seen and in my experience in dealing around people with that type of thing, right? But we do have some young men, like my nephew DJ here. he's in his books, right? He wants to go to university when he get old enough. He want to keep up with things. Some of them just need some exposure and some direction, right? And if you go to the schools, and a lot of times you go to the schools and you see a lot of students not interested in their work.
Man.
But a lot of them would become, let me tell you what happened to me. When I was in school, I reached a stage where I only want to play volleyball and I wasn't into no books no more. And I started to do terrible in school, right? So I had to repeat one of my grades. And then Commodore Swinley came to R&Bailey while I was there on assembly. And he spoke to the whole school. And he said, we're looking for a couple men, a couple of you boys, to send off to England, this place called Dartmouth, to become Defense Force officers. He said, some of you may be the first Bahamian Commodore. And this is a dream he's selling me, right? And I said, oh, I could be the first Bahamian. I didn't know at the time they had senior police officers who eventually going to become Commodores and senior officers in Defense Force, right? And I think that dream kind of was sold to a lot of officers who joined Defense Force. Not that it's bad, because it was even if that wasn't a dream, if Defense was already going on, and I know that I had an opportunity to go to England. That's when they started to pay attention to my books, because he said you're going to need 5 O-levels at C and above, including maths and English, right? And I realized I never even dreamed that I could go to England, right? Because I grew up in Royal Avenue. My family had no money like that. We had nobody in our family been to no university, and you could look at it and say, oh, well, let me go talk to this one, or them things wasn't even a dream to me, or people in my family around my age. We didn't even dream of going to university, because we just figured that wasn't for us, right? And a lot of people of that same ilk, right? They just think they'll go to school, they'll graduate, they'll work at the hotel, and that's the end of that. So there's a lot of potential we're missing out on, because the potential that I had, that only came around because I joined the Defense Force, right? And I was told that if I get these O-levels, I would go to England. While I'm there, I'll be paid. They would pay for all my, I wouldn't have to buy no uniforms and food. I was happy to prepare myself to get that opportunity. I never wanted to go to university. Never wanted to go to college. See, I was a fellow who liked to run and I was physical. I played ball, and I wasn't into no books. But I went into my books only because I knew I needed those O-levels. So, excuse me, you as a experienced engineer, knowing the path that you took, because you had to go back to school.
Yeah.
Right? The path that you took, and you can relay that to a young person, telling them that, look, you can become an engineer where you could see the world.
Yeah, for real.
Right? You could work on those big ships out there. Because a lot of young Bahamians don't know that there is a path to qualify. Even until I went to the Port Department. While I was in the Defense Force, I didn't even know there was a path for me to become a master mariner. I just thought only certain countries used to do that. Right? Mind you, we didn't do it in our country. But there is a path that anybody can take if they want to become. Once you have the capacity and the will and the financing, you could do those things. But a lot of people don't know. Now, we do have some people who don't want to sail.
Yeah.
But a lot of people tend to think about the days of sailboats. Because when they think about sailing on a cruise ship, they want to do that. I could work on a cruise ship, they want to do that. But somebody need to just let them, and mind you, they're starting to know now. Because they have this Maritime Cadet Corps, right? That was started by this gentleman named Dudley Mattenberg.
I think I know him.
Dudley.
Then he was way to BMA.
It started out, he was on the BMA board.
Okay.
He was one of the board members. And he was tasked with setting up a Marine cadet program. And in addition to Dudley, it's really the baby of Minister Glennis Anna Martin, right? Because at the time I was actually working at the BMA. I was the senior nautical inspector and port state inspector for the Bahamas, and I would have been engaged. Minister Hannah Martin would have called me and asked me my views and asked me to put some things down how a person, a child, a school person could qualify to become ship officers, ship ratings, and all the rest of that. And then we put packages together, and when the cadet corps was being launched, I was the person that Dudley Manba was using to go around all the schools. He and I went to all the schools, and I was making presentations based on where you could go in maritime, right? I would tell the students that you may only make $800 a month, but while you're on a ship, you're eating free, you're seeing the world free, and when you then do your 6 to 8 months tour and you come back, that $800 you save at least $500, but you got $4,000 or $5,000 in the bank. If you had stayed in Nassau, you would probably would not have $400 in the bank, right? Because you got bills to pay, you got food to buy, you got to go to the movies every now and then, go to the party, do this, do that. So most of us we spend most of what we make, right? But if you're on a ship and you got to be away where you don't have to spend any money, you're saving this money. And you remember marine tankers.
Mm-hmm.
Most people in marine tankers who work, most of those guys who work, they're 3 months on, 1 month off. After 2 years, most of them could get a car, a brand new car if they want.
Yeah, man.
After 6, 8 years, most of them could own a house, right? And that's because they don't have to spend this money. They have to see most of the time. They eating free, and they staying in the Bahamas. But you can imagine you going around the world on big ships. Yes, you're working, but you're being paid, you're being taken care of.
And you're seeing the world for free.
And, well, that's the biggest part, right? Ain't nobody can tell you nothing but the world no more after that. You spend 10, 15 years at sea on them big ships. You done cover the world a couple times. And it's amazing. My daughter that called earlier, Misty, her first voyage, oh, we got 4 minutes left. Her first voyage took her to, well, she joined the ship in Texas, I remember, right? And she was on a trip for 13 months. They went across the Atlantic. When she got off the ship in Ukraine. Then she had to go from, I think the port was either Odessa or Mariupol. It's where the bulk carrier went. I think they went to pick up some grains from Odessa.
Oh, she's on a bulk carrier.
She's on one of Dockendale shipping bulk carriers for 13 months, right? And when she got off, she had to fly to Kiev, and then from there to Moscow, and then from Moscow to London, and then that's how she got home from London, direct from London, right? So, and that was her very first engagement as an international seafarer, because she started out as an officer in charge of navigation watch, and before she left her ship, she was third mate.
Wow!
Right, and when she went back, she was second mate. So she went through the Panama Canal a couple times on that ship. She went south on the western coast up to San Francisco and all that. I'm not sure whether they passed across the Pacific Ocean to go to China and Japan and them. I don't think she did that one, but she did a lot of South America, right? I wish she called back. She did a lot of South American ports. She was Chile and Argentina and Brazil and those places. Then she went up north to Canada and went through the English Channel into the Baltic Sea and the North Sea, and she went all over the world on that one ship in 13 months, and that was only one voyage, right? So you get, like you say, as a seafarer, to see the world for free.
Yeah, man.
And you're being paid while you're seeing the world for free. And it's just so impacting. Anyway, Peter, before we close out on the show, I want to give you an opportunity to send a shout out to, I guess, your boys, whoever you want to send a shout out to before the show closes out. I catch you by surprise. Eh?
Yeah.
Your brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
You say you used a triplet. Yeah. So one brother died, God bless his soul, and you still have another brother who's, I guess, you're all his twins now.
Yeah, twins, yeah. My brother, let me show you my brother and takes. I get my brother and takes.
Oh, well,
takes the gigs,
yeah. Okay.
And my sister, I get 2 sisters up there too.
Wonderful. Okay.
All my families, yeah. My old lady from Takes.
Oh, it's an old man from Exuma.
From Exuma.
Okay. Yeah, so I thank you so much, my friend, for blessing us with your presence.
Yeah,
Maritime Matters. I know you had a lot of experience to lend and render, and that's why I was happy when you agreed to come on the show. And, we had no callers tonight. People just like to hear a story, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, you got to back till you can talk some more, man.
Indeed. let me shout out to my sponsors again: Bahamas Maritime Connection, 101 Pharmacy, BMI, Bimini Pilots, and GBI Pilots, and of course, what's the one up in Freeport? Island Care Pharmacy. Yeah. And those would be, and let me say hello to Annie Mae, one more time to Annie Mae. And of course, to you, our dear listeners, we can't do this without you being a part of it. So we thank you for listening as always. And DJ, anybody you want to shout out to tonight? DJ say he's shy tonight. So just thank you for listening in. And on that note, we are going, let me just say thank you again to my wonderful producer, Mr. Craig Gibson. Oh, he salute, oh boy, that Maritime salute again. Yes. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, as always, I say to you, Maritime Matters, out.
Sitting on the dock of the bay, watching the tide